What is up, guys? I haven't listened to this. This is a brand new Zebec Spaces from privacy to compliance, real world blockchain apps, X Spaces. So we're gonna get into it here. Let me cue my guy Indigo Saint, and we shall get into this. Let's go. Boom. Let's get it. Indigo Saint in the building. Blackrue Investing, let's go.
Who's this producer? Best believe it was Blackrue Investing. With your money, you ain't gotta be guessing. Profits is what we manifesting. So we binge on our Blackrue Investing. Best believe it was Blackrue Investing. Got course in this race, we ain't resting. We got stocks, we got crypto with a blessing. Just thank God for that Blackrue Investing. Best believe it was Blackrue Investing.
What's up, guys? Let me go ahead and share the screen here. Like I said, I haven't listened this morning, so it's going to be brand new to me as well here. Let me just maximize this. So let's see. Let's go into it and see what happens here. I see some regulars in the house. What's up, Bugatti? 1173. What's up, Silver Days? What's up, Trini for life? All right, guys, let's get into this and see what happens. Okay, well, which what sometimes happens here. I have to reload it, even though I have it already preloaded. Okay, it usually takes them a couple minutes to get it started, so let me...
I think I can see Simon in the audience. I'm going to invite him to speak. If anyone, well, I'll do a little test. Just everyone give me a thumbs up emoji if you can hear me fine. That's always great fun to do. And I'm going to bring Moment up. Hey, I got some thumbs up. That's good news.
This Moment guy, he's quite the guy. I was looking him up a couple days ago in some research, and there's a picture of him with CZ. Like, so I'm really interested to see what this guy has to say. And after this speech is over, after this talk is over, we can go to his X page and take a look at him. But he seems like a real player out here. So it's interesting to see him on the call right now. It's interesting. I think I was looking him up in reference to ADI chain. But let's continue and see what he has to say, what everyone has to say.
And now I've got thumbs up in the audience. Excellent news. Okay, thank you so much, everyone. I really appreciate you doing that. Give us a few moments and we will be right with you. I think if ADI can hear, my best recommendation is probably that they drop down and then look to come back up, because all I can see is them connecting. And I think take a spin around the block, refresh your app, and that might be the way to do it.
Ben, ADI seems as a speaker on my end, so it's showing fine.
Oh, so maybe it's mine then, in which case, ADI, don't worry, stay where you are. And hopefully that gets sorted. Okay, look, I think we're good. I think we can make a move and start moving along. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. Here we are, mid-February. Welcome to the Spaces session with me, Benjamin White, and of course, my good friend and CEO at Zebec, Simon. Hi, Simon.
Hey, Ben, and everyone listening today. Great to be back. It's been a few weeks now since we had our last Spaces.
Yeah. You're good though. You're well. You're in good health.
Great start to the year. I mean, lots to update the community on today, so excited to get into it. And then, of course, we have 3 amazing guests joining us today.
We do. Actually, do you know what? Let's do that at the beginning. Let's talk a bit about Zebec, and if you don't mind, let's just take a few minutes and maybe give me and the community a bit of an update before we jump into the main topic of conversation for today. I know there's like 3 or 4 things that I would love to get direct line into you on. So if you don't mind, I'm just going to ask away. Firstly, tell me everything you can in terms of progress when it comes to the super app. Where are we at?
We're getting very close. I'm sure our community knows that the launch date has now been set for the 25th of February. We've been rolling out the super app in different modules for
So, yep, we know 25th of February is when it's going to launch the desktop version. And shout out to the triple threat, me, Rob Mast of Crypto Future, and Maximus Crypto. We've been talking a bit about that. One of the things that Rob has talked about and said that I agree with is maybe they're coming out with the desktop version first because institutions are not going to do this on the phone, right? They're going to do it on the desktop version first. So for you guys that are like, why are they coming out with a desktop version first? That's why, right? But we will definitely have the mobile version to follow because the mobile version is where people like Facet in different areas, Facet and ADI chain, this is where they're going to pay their employees, and their employees will have access to the US dollar, right? In areas like Southeast Asia, in areas like Dubai, in areas like Malaysia, right? They're going to very much want to have access to the US dollar via either USD1 from World Liberty Financial or via USDC from Circle. They will have access to it.
For the past couple of weeks. So you've been able to see the updated version of the cards, the updated version of the staking, etc. But next week is the date. So the desktop version will be coming live, which brings all of our Zebec products under one roof. And this app is so exciting for us. It's been months in the works. We really see this as kind of the way for blockchain to replace traditional banking apps with a blockchain-based first solution. And of course, the app is going to be starting as a free tool for everyone in the community to use. And then later on, we'll be requiring a ZBCN requirement to access certain features in the app. So great way.
Will require a ZBCN feature payment in the future to access certain things. So they're going to get you on the hook free. And then there's going to be a ZBCN fee, right? Yeah, you can definitely see that this is going to probably replace banks. Yeah, this is probably just going to really replace banks. A lot of people do all their banking mobile as it is anyway, and this is going to lead to a global gig economy. Okay, and global gig economy beyond like just like the gig economy jobs we think of as Uber and DoorDash and all of this. No. This is going to be gig economy like engineering, legal documents, like anywhere you can hire someone, you can hire them and do it through Zebec's super app.
For everyone to test it out, give us feedback, and we'll be rolling out the second phase, which is the mobile app in the month of March. So there's also that to look forward to.
Amazing. Okay, so real progress then. I think that's awesome, and obviously another sync for the ZBCN token in terms of that being almost like gated access. I think that's a great play from you
exactly.
Guys. Okay, next. Let me look at my notes. Oh yeah, this is a good one actually. I really wanted to catch you about this. I saw something saying that you will be on stage next month at XRP Las Vegas, and no, not just up on stage, but with teams from XRP and Solana, right? What can you tell us about that?
Yes, super excited to be at XRP Las Vegas. This is Zebec's first time. We're going to be there alongside our friends at Ripple, Solana, Uphold, and many, many more. I'll be delivering a keynote speech at the event. I look forward to meeting many from the Zebec community there, and of course, all these other adjacent crypto companies. And I encourage everyone in the Zebec community to follow our Twitter. We'll be running some campaigns in the next couple of weeks, and you may even be able to win a fully paid for trip to the event in Vegas.
Wow.
Oh yeah, okay, nice.
Running some events, you might get a full trip to Vegas to be a part of the festivities. This is interesting, and of course, it's going to be XRP, Solana, and Zebec on stage. Simon's going to be a keynote speaker. What is going to come out of that? Okay, like very, very huge. Shout out to our brother in the space, ZBCN, man. He's been talking about this, like under the covers. He's been talking about this for a while. Like, shout out to him. Shout out to Simon. Shout out to the Zebec family. Shout out to Zebec Nation, right? Shout out to Ghost. Shout out to a lot of guys out in the space. Shout out to brother off Kryptonian. We see him in the chat there. Definitely will share his information in quite a second here. Man, this is going to be very, very interesting to see. This is going to be very interesting to see what announcements come out of there for Zebec. Like I keep kind of feeling we're right there, right? Even though it's max fear out there, max booing, people like booed the Coinbase commercial, but all this infrastructure is still being laid out. We're right there, guys. We're right there. We're right there. Let's continue.
Do you know, on my list, never been to Vegas, never been. So that would be an amazing one.
Maybe
How about that?
you can join me, Ben. Maybe you can join me.
Yeah, okay. Let's see if there's some content to be made out there. Let's have a think about it. But awesome. Okay, well that sounds like an amazing event.
Ben was like, I've never been to Vegas. And then Simon was like, come on, bro, you can go. He's like, maybe if we need to make some content. That was hilarious. That was hilarious, bro. Hey, Ben White, maybe he comes over to Vegas, maybe he doesn't. But that was a funny interaction right there. Shout out to Ben White, who I think does a smashing job hosting these spaces every time he does it. Shout out to him. He does a great job.
And can't wait to hear a bit more. Okay, last one on my docket. I was doing a little bit of research earlier, and can you tell me a bit about this Tangem campaign that I've seen? It's pinned post at the moment. I'll go and grab it and pin it to the Jumbotron at the top. But there's a Bundesliga, which is the German football or soccer stadium, takeover. What's going on there? Give me the whole 101 on that.
Yes. So our partnership with Tangem is really based around the launch of a custom branded wallet. I've got one myself. They're a limited availability. We've seen a lot of people in the community have purchased them over the past 2 weeks since we've gone live. We highly recommend every one of our holders to look into self-custody. There's no real better way to store your ZBCN than on a ZBCN branded Tangem wallet. And to celebrate this launch, and for all of our sports fans out there, I'm sure you already know this, but Zebec and Tangem are official sponsors of the German Bundesliga. Think of this as, the Germany's version of the NFL. It's the #1 sport in the country, and we will be featured in games across Germany all season. And I will be at one of the games myself, I think, next month. So anyone who's out there, give me a shout.
Nice.
So Germany's NFL. And to be honest with you, soccer is the world's NFL. Like, I thoroughly believe that the NFL has passed every other sport here in America. It is now our nation's pastime, for real, right? But worldwide, soccer is everything. So, this is something we're going to start to cover more here in, into more shows. But the way that they are revving up the advertising, the marketing, you gotta believe the Clarity Act is right around the corner. This is there's so much built in, for lack of a better term, worship with these sports teams, where it's all you gotta bring out is, a lead footballer and, have them talk about Zebec, and there it is, that they're spreading the word, and they're going to have, people want to do streaming payroll wherever they're doing it in Germany, right? They're going to want that to happen. We know we have the All Unity stablecoin for Deutsche Bank in Germany, right? The connections are there. So shout out to many, many moons ago, the former marketing officer for Scale. I don't think he's their marketing officer anymore, but shout out to Andrew Saunders. Like, he still follows me. Excellent gentleman. One of the things he said was, watch out for like marketing. When these companies start ramping up marketing, that's when you're going to know that everything's around the corner. And that's what we've seen from Zebec for sure. NBA, NHL, now soccer. So everything might just be around the corner, guys. Now that should, for an Zebec holder, that very, very, very much excites me. Right? A lot of reason to believe everything is around the corner because they're advertising like it is, right? And believe me, people are going to want to be paid right now. People are going to want their payment to the second. All right. So let's continue.
Love that. Okay, so lots going on. Super app in full force, XRP Las Vegas, and that Tangent campaign with Bundesliga. Really, really interesting. Thanks for taking the time to go through those things. I am going to move us onto our feature conversation now. Today's session, it focuses our attention back to the points where kind of blockchain meets real world application, and we've moved around this circle for a long time because obviously we are deep believers in the crypto needs to be more than just kind of like, you know, etherware. It needs to really start giving people access to finance and people being able to build out really, really incredible platforms and things. So over the last cycle, we talked about tokens, speculation, narrative. This year, the conversation has very much shifted, and Elena from Zebec actually brought my attention to, and I've been having a look at the Tucker Carlson interview that was published about a week or so ago, and the kind of ensuing debate on crypto Twitter, which has been around like privacy, cryptography, individual sovereignty, and it's really kind of like propelled that into the cultural mainstream. So what we're going to talk about today is privacy and how institutions are now asking different questions. Okay, they want compliance, they want infrastructure that works inside real companies across jurisdictions with real money moving through it as well, like super important. So Simon, I'll just quickly come to you before I then introduce our guests. Zebec has already hit SOC 2 ICO standards. We've been talking about that a great deal in these shows. We've covered this in lots of detail. You know, you've also onboarded hundreds of corporate clients. What's missing clearly isn't demand. It's the rails, the private chains, the compliance layers, the card programs, the payroll that can operate on chain without like exposing sensitive data. So are you continuing to see this firsthand in terms of like the conversations that you're having when you are visiting these conferences and speaking at different events?
Without a doubt. I mean, this is one of our biggest focuses this year as a company. And it's really about building infrastructure that institutions can actually use. You know, there's been many blockchains that have come and gone over the past 10 years, but the key right now is working with blockchains that are institutional grade. And many of those have privacy built in natively. As you can imagine, large enterprises and corporates cannot have transaction data out there in the public. So Zebec being an early mover at adopting some of these chains, working with, you know, companies like Aleo, who of course are here on the show with us as well, and our neobank distribution partners like Facet and ADI. So we bring all this together under a very user-friendly interface through the Zebec super app, so that we're...
So Aleo, right? Facet and ADI. So Aleo seems to have some of the USDCX with the X reserve, which it seems like Canton makes possible, right? Built into Aleo, right? So they can do privacy USDCX. And ADI seems to have a big chain over there, along with Facet in the Southeast Asia, Dubai area of the world. We also looked at ADI and we saw that they're also in China and they're also in Korea. Okay, so quite the area covered. Again, when we look at Zebec, we see a global company that has, Fed Now with Not Pay Now, you know, all Unity stablecoin in Germany, where they were just talking about the Bundesliga, and now with Facet and ADI and World Liberty Financial, they're covering Southeast Asia, Dubai, and China. They're all of that, right? So again, there's going to be liquidity from all of these different places flowing into Zebec by the second. So there's no reason to believe that this coin doesn't have in it a lot in it. You know what I mean? Like where maybe like 10 to 30 cents, even a dollar might not be too crazy this year should the regulation get in place.
Able to serve all aspects of the market.
Amazing. Okay, well, look, I will move on to our much, Simon. Today, we're joined by the teams from Aleo, Facet, and ADI, three very different approaches to the same core challenge. How do we build blockchain infrastructure that governments, banks, institutions can actually use and want to use? And so I'm going to do a quick mic check with everybody, no pun intended, but hi, Mike. Mike McCoy is BD, head of BD at Aleo. How are you, Mike? Good to see you.
I'm doing well. Can everyone hear me today?
It can hear you perfectly. I know the line does feel a little bit fragile, so we'll keep going as we can. But yeah, I can hear you perfectly. How are you, dude? And if you don't mind, do you mind giving a very, very quick introduction to Aleo? I was conducting a bit of research earlier this week. I saw you've had a huge raise, incredible cap table. I would love to know a little bit more about it, and then I can obviously introduce our other guests, and we can move into the conversation.
Yeah, absolutely. So Aleo is a decentralized permissionless protocol that protects all transaction details in zero-knowledge cryptography. We do have some serious venture-backed partners that came on in 2022, such as A16Z, Tiger Global, SoftBank, Samsung, Coinbase Ventures, Han Ventures, Variant, Slow Ventures, a bunch of others, right? And we're very thankful for all those partners.
That's quite the list of partners right there. Han Ventures, okay. Katie Han, she has some connections to Tim Draper there. A16Z, which is Mark Andreessen. We know Andreessen and Draper have connections. And Mark Andreessen was basically the creator of Netscape, okay. He goes back that far, quite a brilliant man there. There were some others he mentioned. That's quite the investor list. Let's go back and listen to that just a second.
Partners. But today, back partners that came on in 2022, such as A16Z, Tiger Global, SoftBank, Samsung, Coinbase Ventures, Han Ventures, Variant, Slow Ventures, a bunch of others, right?
Samsung, SoftBank, Coinbase Ventures, right? Which Andreessen and Draper are a part of Coinbase Ventures. SoftBank, we know from Project Stargate, Trump's Project Stargate, where they're building all these AI data centers, right? Do not believe the whole AI bubble thing. AI is just getting started out here, all right? So you can just throw that all away with the AI bubble. Wow, this is quite the list of investors.
And we're very thankful for all those partners. But today, we are very much focused on enabling private stablecoin payments for things like payroll, remittances, for payment service providers, as well as for others in the crypto sphere. Recently, we had launches with USDC, USDCX with Circle, USAD with Paxos, and today we actually launched our private native wallet called Shield, which allows.
So there's the USAD connection, or USAT connection. Remember I was telling you guys, I can't remember which show it was on, right? It might have been our last show, that perhaps the next regulated stablecoin that comes to Zebec is USAT, which is Tether's regulated USA stablecoin. So he already mentioned the USDCX reserve, that privacy USDC that Canton is doing for Circle, okay? And now he also mentions USAT. Very juicy there.
Allows any user business to sphere. Recently thankful for all those partners. But today, we are very much focused on enabling private stablecoin payments for things like payroll, remittances, for payment service providers, as well as for others in the crypto sphere. Recently, we had launches with USDC, USDCX with Circle, USAD with Paxos, and today we actually launched our private native wallet called Shield, which allows any user in the crypto sphere, and we're very thankful for all those partners. But today, we are very much focused on enabling private stablecoin payments for things like payroll, remittances, for payment service providers, as well as for others in the crypto sphere. Recently, we had launches with USDC, USDCX with Circle, USAD with Paxos, and today we actually launched our private native wallet called Shield, which allows any user, business, government to be able to send private payments to anywhere across the world in 1 second.
Wow. And then the USA Shield that they can send private payments. And that might have been USAP, he said, with Paxos. So that might not have been USAT. My apologies on that. It's hard to hear him. And I can't already have the volume turned up max. So it's actually something this from their side.
In less than 1 cent. So, partners like Zebec that enable cards both physically and virtually, as well as enabling payroll specifically for clients, is like a huge value add to the layer 1 blockchain protocol that we have built and are looking to settle payments privately across the world. So, yeah, that's mostly our focus.
I love that. And how is it that you guys came to meet Zebec? I think, have you met in person? I think so, right?
Yeah, so Simon and I met actually during the week of Crypto Financial Conference back in January in Switzerland. And, his focus was very much on payroll. My focus was very much on payroll. So these kind of are synergies and the focuses of what we're trying to solve for here in crypto, because no one wants their paycheck to be public. When you are receiving payment in stable coins today with USDC that settles on Ethereum, Solana, etc., all of that is public and accessible through block explorers, through anyone within the entire internet. And I, for one, don't want my paycheck to be public. I imagine many others in the world don't want theirs to be either, especially if you are a multinational corporation, or if you're even a crypto organization that is very global and have people based all over the world. This is a non-starter for many of them. So that is kind of where the synergies really started between Simon, myself, and Zebec and Aleo.
Love that. Thank you. And Aleo, I've got that right now, not Aleo. I know these things are very important.
Honestly,
really appreciate you coming up and
you can say however
I like to.
We do not care.
I like to get it right. Okay. Also joining us again, other team from Facet, and I think we've got Agarem. Please help me if I've butchered your name. Hopefully I haven't. But hi.
Hi everyone. My name is Agarem. You pronounced it perfectly right. And
great.
I'm happy
Lovely to meet you, Agarem.
Again. Yep.
Great. Well, thanks so much for joining us. We'll come up to Facet in a little while. And also, for the first time joining us is the team from ADI, and I believe we've got Jack with us. Hi, Jack. How you doing?
Hey, Ben. How are you? Hi, everyone. Pleasure to be here.
Great stuff. Great to have you here. Okay, look, I'm excited to hear more about what you're all building, but I want to get into some key topics, and for the next kind of 15, 20 minutes, really kind of jump into the main topic that we've had here. So I guess I want to start with the fact that you're all building key infrastructure. And I guess the obvious question a lot of people listening might have is, why does the world need another chain? And as we're looking closely at privacy now, why are private blockchains so important and becoming, such a critical focus of the broader space? I'm going to ask Mike from Aleo to come up with that one first, and then Jack afterwards, and then I've got a specific question for you, Igrim, regarding Facet after that.
Absolutely, absolutely. And like as I mentioned earlier, like existing blockchains like Ethereum or Solana, they excel at transparency and global accessibility. But at the same time, transparency is a major barrier for real world adoption, especially for stablecoins. Every transaction publicly reveals sender, receiver, amount, and a lot of business intelligence, exposing companies to competitors, front running, data leaks, treasury movement, trade size, you name it, right? And so Alio fixes this with the permissionless layer one that protects transactions with zero knowledge proofs, in particular, zero knowledge snarks. And where privacy is built from day one, transactions are end-to-end encrypted, hiding details while proving validity on chain. And so ZK, there's two ways you can utilize privacy. There's ZK Starks, which enables you to scale with rollups, and then there's ZK Snarks, which allows you to protect and verify. And on Alio, in the real world, this unlocks what stablecoins were always meant to do at scale. Private payments, enable confidential payroll for global teams, secure vendor settlements, enable treasuries, whether crypto native or corporate, to help with their operations for pay-in and payouts, without forcing businesses to choose between blockchain benefits and data protection. Stablecoin users get financial privacy like traditional banking, businesses run on operations without broadcasting their strategies, and institutions then can settle large flows compliantly without creating market-moving signals. And like CZ said this past week too, in another interview in the All In podcast, privacy is the missing link that scales on-chain finance. Luckily, Alio has been live since 2024, so it's battle tested. It is proved to not have hacks, and we are, not anything is possible in blockchain networks, but this is a tried and true blockchain that can enable private payments at scale.
Okay, great. So it seems like they use zero knowledge proofs to get privacy done, right? And the CEO of Canton, Yuval Roots, has told us, zero ZK knowledge, zero knowledge proofs don't go the whole way there. But then that's where you can kind of bring in their privacy circle that they have, the USDCX that Canton provides. They have that as well. So it seems like they'll be using a mix of the technologies to provide privacy and payroll, and they'll bolt on Zebec so that you have the streaming payroll there, and Zebec's virtual and physical cards. So it seems like the perfect relationship right there.
Absolutely love that. And Jack, I wondered if you had a response to the same question in terms of why privacy and private blockchains are so important to the infrastructure that you're building right now.
Yeah. So first of all, I completely agree with what Mike mentioned. At ADI, we built a chain that's optimized for payments, privacy, and governance, basically. So we see today that multiple governments are trying to tiptoe their way into crypto, blockchain, not knowing how to start, where to start. They're all building their sandbox, their frameworks, but it's very conservative in a way. So we developed a chain that's robustly built around privacy, compliance, and a payment optimization for it to enable real-world cases such as payments, like fast payments within users, P2P. And we have a modular stack that enables any single government or financial institution that has its own unique set of rules and wants to build an L3 on top of us and say, great, I want to have permission pools, I want to have KYC only wallets, I want to have only whitelisted addresses, whitelisted pools, or smart contracts. So in a way, we are, instead of going full DeFi as ETH and completely ETH-centric in a way, we are building it for institutionals and governments that want to start putting their entire like governmental infrastructure within on-chain, that being IDs, user IDs, completely protected by CK technology. And those are the real world use case that we're looking after.
I love that. Thank you so much for answering and being so succinct. Igrim, I'm from Facet's perspective, I'd like to touch on stablecoins if I can. And I guess this is a similar question for you, but how important are they to your ecosystem, and how are you kind of like developing the Facet business when it comes to stablecoins?
Absolutely. Well, at Facet, stablecoins are the core settlement layer of our digital bank. We are literally a stablecoin-based digital bank. And it's not a feature, it's the foundation. And we use stablecoins for real-world problems to provide utility for our users, whether it's cross-border settlement or RWA liquidity. We use stablecoins as liquidity bridge that allows users from our target markets, from Morocco to Malaysia, to access tokenized assets, whether it's stocks, commodities, bonds, etc. We also have a Facet card where the cards are funded by stablecoin balances, so people can spend anywhere in the world holding digital dollars for our target market is extremely crucial. And in general, since we primarily aim for millions of users, even like in unbanked and underbanked regions, it's crucial for them to have access for stable dollar-denominated financial services. So it kind of helps with access in emerging, like fast-growing markets as well. So that's our foundation.
Yeah, amazing. And I know we've got Momin in the crowd, and I also know that you have to bounce in a moment. So I don't know if you wanted to add any color to that before leaving. Great to have you on stage, by the way, Momin.
No, thank you so much. Yes, would suddenly have to hop off due to an emergency, but honestly, this is an incredibly important conversation, I believe. And thank you to everyone who organized this, because the future of crypto will be defined by infrastructure now. As we know, the days of speculation are long gone. I think private rails, compliant distribution, and real institutional usability is what would finally move blockchain from just narrative to a global financial reality. So really, thank you to all these partners here, and for you guys to towards organizing this and taking this forward. And I really want more of these conversations to happen more often, because this is absolutely phenomenal and what is needed in 2026 after what we've been seeing is happening in the market.
100%. Yeah, I love that. Thank you so much. Really, really appreciate your take on that. Mike.
Yeah, it's interesting. Moment, we've been having these conversations with Zebec for quite a long time, but he's probably new to Zebec. He might not know that, but he definitely seems like he's a player. We'll tap back into this Moment guy after this Spaces is over. But we heard a lot from ADI Chain here and Facet. It definitely seems like these two have a connection. Facet seems to be stablecoin first, and ADI Chain seems to be, they're saying that when he said garments, I think he meant like governments. I'm going to say that he was saying governments, saying like the government, it's government first is what he's saying his their blockchain is built for. So it's simply built government first, right? So let's continue here.
Elio, I've got a couple of questions for you specifically before I bring the other guys back up. But as mentioned earlier, Elio raised $300 million and backed by some serious capital. Why are institutions finally ready for private blockchains? I'm really interested to know, like, what you've seen, what the shift has been that has made this come to the fore like it has.
Yeah, I mean, I can't necessarily speak for all institutions, but what I'm seeing from feedback is they're finally ready because the risk of transparent rails have become too high as on-chain volume is exploding. There's over, I want to say, like $1 trillion in stablecoin volumes monthly, with institutional activity that's only growing. And so,
so what he's saying there, that makes so much sense. What they're discovering is now that everything's exploded, they can't have all of this stuff be public, right? And you know what I mean? To a certain extent, you have to know what you're doing to track down who's who and who's what with the transactions, even on the public ledger. But they're like, look, we can't institutions, governments are like, look, we can't have people tracking this down and knowing what certain costs are, what certain things are. We need this stuff to be private. So income companies like Aleo, okay, incomes things like Facet and ADI chain, they're gonna need for these things to be privacy first, right? That's just what it is, right? And honestly, this was probably always going to happen. I know that from the start, privacy was kind of peddled to us like this was something that people were doing that was illegal, but this is always the way that things have worked, in which companies put behind a wall what they're paying their employees, what they're paying business to business for certain people to get things done, what incentives they might give, what bonuses they might give. This stuff just needs to be private. So income companies like this, and they're going to make it happen, right? Because governments and institutions are going to want it.
Bring on like credible stablecoins, especially in the Aleo world of Circle with USDCX, Paxos with USAD. They show that major stablecoin issuers are betting on privacy first infrastructure, and serious capital is willing to flow into that because it delivers programmable ZK privacy at scale that's decentralized, permissionless, and compliant ready. The main goal, and here's our like general thesis and analogy, and maybe it can work for everything in crypto too, but we're looking to create the HTTPS for blockchain networks. If you remember in the early internet days when HTTP.
Wow. He's saying that they're looking to create the HTTPS for blockchain networks. So I'm an engineer. If you guys are not, that's pretty profound what he just said. And okay, so you know how you go to a website, usually it's HTTP, but if you want a secure connection, you're gonna go via HTTPS, right? And with that secure connection, you understand basically the other side is who it says it is. They're using certificates to just say, okay, are you who you say you are? And let's use encrypted connections so that no one kind of is able to come in and take our information or our data and say it's something it's not, or do something with our data that they're not allowed to. So that's quite a huge statement from Aleo to say that. And if they can actually deliver on that, that might be very, very huge for Zebec if they can become the HTTPS of crypto.
He was truly live. And here's our like general thesis and analogy, and maybe it can work for everything in crypto too. But we're looking to create the HTTPS for blockchain networks. If you remember in the early internet days when HTTP was truly live with the scale of the internet, everything was public and information was out there. Businesses couldn't scale. They didn't have the rails to truly do so. But now that Aleo enables, it's live, it enables the HTTPS for blockchain networks. When the Internet Explorers were finally made to be private, you have businesses like Amazon, Microsoft, and the world flourished. We're out here to build those similar rails for global finance and the banks, the institutions, the payment service providers, the merchant services of the world, the remittance platforms. They are finally taking notice. And because stablecoins settle in 1 second for less than 1 cent and enable global enable global connectivity and access, that is a huge benefit for them.
This is interesting, guys.
Yeah.
Like, especially when you bring in agentic AI, like we're so on the cusp of the world changing as we know it. And Zebec is going to be a part of that as far as like payroll and how payments are delivered, right? And how payroll's given to you in real time. Like, the world's going to be totally, totally different with AI agents out here paying for everything. AI agents out here doing a lot of different purchasings and things like that. Well, get ready for the world to change, you guys. Like major changes.
Absolutely. And you guys are like, you're working with Zebec on private cards and payroll. What changes for a corporate client when payroll becomes like a fully private on-chain piece of infrastructure?
I think what happens, like, yes, you can have a network that settles these transactions, but having the right distribution partners and having the actual applications and wallets that connect in their everyday lives and where users are already at is very vital. And so if a user could be able to receive their payroll through Zebec and be able to have that come in instantaneously, not having to wait like 3 to 4 to 5 days for it to settle across border, that is a huge unlock for them. And yes, with privacy added, like the transaction may not settle in exactly 1 second. Sometimes it's 2 seconds, sometimes it's 3. Adding that privacy and that security to be able to receive one of the most valuable assets within someone's bank account. If you look at your bank account, one of
So he said it right there with like an almost instant finality with payment across the world in 1 to 2 to 3 seconds. Again, guys, I don't think that people understand how world changing this is going to be, especially when you throw in agentic AI, that you're going to be able to pay anyone around the world with almost instant finality with like basically an AI bot. Like people are not understanding how game changing this is going to be. So it's amazing that Zebec's going to be a part of this, and we're part of investing in it, right? And we know that the token's going to be used for that. Like we know that the fees are going to be used for that.
the more higher volumes and money flow within there is your payroll from your employer or your company. And maintaining that trust, maintaining that security is vital. And so Zebec offering these type of products for users and businesses alike to access, that's huge. And it has a seamless experience.
Yeah, absolutely. Simon, amazing partnership here. I'd love to bring you up very quickly, Simon. Like any thoughts here as we move into the next section of the discussion?
Alio's been, an enormous partnership for us. It's only been a month really since Mike and I first met at CFC St. Moritz. But we've now been building behind the scenes. The Alio private card is going to be going live within the next 7 days. So everyone will be able to test it out, and we can start onboarding more and more ecosystem partners of Alio onto our network. And then of course, the payroll product will roll out in the month of March. So this is an important milestone for us at Zebec as we seek to serve larger enterprises and corporates that have already adopted Alio for payments, payouts, or asset tokenization. So this is really just the beginning for this partnership, and we're super excited to see where it goes.
Amazing. I'd like to bring the team from Facet back in, actually. You guys operate in emerging markets, got real users, huge transaction volume. What is adoption actually looking like on the ground right now? Like, what are people asking for? And I don't want to lead you too far, but obviously we're talking about privacy, and I'd love to know how much of that is coming into the conversation.
Sure, that's a great question. Per our big volume, it's the exact number actually for last year was 12 billion annualized volume. And you are absolutely right. We're primarily targeting markets from Morocco to Malaysia, and for these markets, the adoption is crazy, and people are asking for the products that we're providing, which are the cards and the global USDT account. And I see, like, we see primarily like 3 dominant behaviors. I would say spending. Users want the cards connected to their digital dollar balances so they can spend anywhere, because for some countries there are limitations from their traditional banks. When they travel abroad, they have limitations, but with the Facet card, they can be a global user. Another thing is savings. people hold stable coins as protection against currency volatility. I'm not gonna name countries, but for a few of them, it's been a huge issue, and it's incredibly convenient to have this opportunity to have the savings tied to the US dollar. Another thing is I would say, cross-border settlement and sending money, because for millions of people between families and businesses, it's the biggest transaction driver. One of the examples that I personally have faced, like a couple months back, I was in Bangladesh, and we hosted a community meetup, and we needed to pay for the venue and stuff, right? And it was around the holidays here in the UAE. They were not accepting the stablecoin payment, right? So we had to wait for a bank day to start to process, but we also had our deadlines. But if it was in stablecoins, obviously it would have taken like seconds, not days, right? And there would have been faster transaction without any limitations. So I'll say these three things that primarily interest our audience. Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic, and great to have those examples there. Really, really interesting to see how that's developing. I want to ask ADI a question now. You guys are targeting emerging markets and institutional L3 deployments. What does bringing a billion people on chain with that kind of tech practically mean for you guys? I'm really, really interested to learn.
That's amazing. So basically, we see the blockchain as the back-end infrastructure for governments, banks, financial institutions, fintechs, wallets, you name it. And we've already partnered up with multiple governments, multiple banks, multiple fintechs that are going to be deploying either natively within our chain or building their own L3 that will be customized in the modules that I mentioned before, with the compliance and regulation that they seek. Obviously, it's not the same regulation that comes in a bank in Asia than a bank in Africa or a bank in Europe. They're all similar, but each have their own nuances that they have to respect in order to keep their banking license. So we're seeing multiple banks that want to get into the remittance play, leveraging the blockchain technology, and we are positioning ourselves to be the most efficient way for them to interact, for them to customize their entire stack and be able to be compliant with their existing infrastructure and laws in each country. If they were to, like, if you take ETH, for example, it's very hard for a bank to adopt ETH based on the lack of privacy it has, the cost of transactions, the speed of transactions, and multiple other KYC and regulated areas in compliance that they have to review. In this case, if they build an L3 with their own modular stack, understanding what specific details they have to do with compliance, how they can interact with smart contracts, which smart contracts are prohibited or enabled in their local region, that's how they can start being on-chain in a very seamless way. We are right now, we signed M-Pesa as the largest fintech in Africa. They're going to be enabling, we're going to be enabling through their user base and backbone by ADI chain, the remittance play within their fintech wallet. And as M-Pesa, there are multiple other countries, per se, per regions, will be adopting their stable coin and having their stable coin minted and burned directly natively on chain to be able to interact with the remittance market.
So they're the ones with M-Pesa, right? And the Facet people told us last time that they met with Facet, what, you know what I mean? Last time Zebec did the spaces with Facet, that M-Pesa was coming aboard, and apparently they're coming aboard via ADI. Okay, so I was right. He was saying governments, right? So very interesting. So very interesting to look into this ADI. It seems like they're really a big stick in the room, if you know what I mean. So we'll definitely have to do some more. I'm gonna have to how dare myself with that big stick comment there. That was terrible.
How dare you?
Absolutely not. How dare me? How dare me? But we're definitely gonna have to do some more research into them and how this deal with M-Pesa is gonna roll out. Definitely, we'll definitely see Zebec probably here with the some Zebec cards and onboarding of payroll there for this company. But very, very interesting to see. Definitely, if you look into M-Pesa, which we did a little bit already, how they're like one of the world's largest mobile payroll providers. That's such a big deal. Again, like really just understand what you're holding with Zebec, that you're dealing with a company that's working with someone that already has the largest payroll provider on board, the world's largest, the realm's largest payroll provider on board. Man, we're killing the game.
We also do digital identities for those that want to secure the privacy of their individuals and citizens on a Web3 stack, which it's super interesting when you have to travel abroad and be able to validate your IDs without having to share all your information.
Yeah, really interesting. I think, you know, we were absolutely right earlier. Like, this feels like a conversation that could spawn a million conversations. And so in the interest of everyone's time, but it would be really good to get you back, actually. And I think, you know, I know that you guys are chatting with the team at Zebec, and I think it would be fantastic to get you back up and have another discussion about this, because it sounds like really interesting development from a tech perspective.
Yeah, I'd really like to hear some more from this ADI chain. It seems like, yeah, they got some huge connections. I would really like a backup spaces with ADI chain. Zebec, if anyone out there is listening, or somebody ends up watching the spaces, it definitely seems there's more at play with this ADI chain. But brilliant that Zebec has managed to get them in the fold. So to partner with them and M-Pesa, I really want to hear more and to see how this partnership fleshes out.
Final few minutes then. I just want to kind of bring everyone together and connect the dots here. Simon, we've heard lots of really interesting stuff. Zooming out, what changes if private chains, compliant L3s, neobank distribution, if all of that connects through the kind of infrastructure that they are building and through you guys at Zebec also, what's going to change in the coming years? And then I'll ask the guys to kind of close out.
Exactly, Ben. I mean, these are all incredible growth levers for Zebec to expand our international footprint. I mean, for one, bringing on bigger and better institutions onto our rails is a vote of confidence in the technology that we've built, as well as the partners that we've brought on. We're going to continue to roll out our expansion across corporate payroll, especially as this year has been deemed the year of the stablecoin. More and more corporates are looking to pay either internal payments or employees in stablecoins through Zebec. And of course, last but not least, card issuance and card volume growth will continue to grow as we bring on new partners and new ecosystems. And of course, a lot of those economics flow back into the ZBCN token. So to sum it up, stablecoin-based financial infrastructure is going to continue to disrupt traditional banking. And by connecting into businesses like Facet, like ADI, like Aleo, Zebec continues to add utility to our payments, and it solidifies our position as the leading real-time blockchain-based payment solution globally.
Yeah.
Wow, Simon said it all there. It's like that's the perfect way to end it up here. Of course, again, stay tuned, because we're going to talk more about this moment character. Yeah, Simon said it perfectly. That there's nothing else to say right there.
Yes, sir, it does. I want to ask the guys, so I'm going to do it in this order, the order that I can see it. So Facet, ADI, and then Aleo. I would like to know, where can people get in touch with you? Where can they follow along? Where can they get involved? And then let's hopefully bring you back so that we can talk a bit more about your businesses in the future. Facet first.
Sure. They can download the app Facet, FASSET, or check our website facet.io. We're here on Twitter. We have our own network here as well, which is our L2. So our customer support team is very responsive. So if you're already on the app, you can get any support requested 24/7. And we're also responsive on social media as well. So feel free to reach out anytime. We're here to support and respond.
Love that. And ADI, let's go with you.
Yes, so ADI.Foundation is a website, ADI.Foundation, and here on ADI Chain, a Twitter account, you can message it and you'll be having someone guide you through the right, if you want partnerships or whatever inquiry you might have, there's someone that's going to guide you away.
And then finally, Mike, see us out from Alio.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for the time. You can obviously follow me at my handle here, MCCoy, EMCCEECOY, as well as Alio HQ for any updates within the protocol and network. We also recently just launched our native wallet called Shield, which enables anyone to send a private payment to anyone across the world, especially with USDCX and US Alio dollar issued by Paxos. So looking forward to everyone interacting with us, and thank you all for the time.
Yeah, thank you for the time. Thank Simon for coming out. JJ, love the fact that you've organized another banger. Appreciate you. See us out. Have fun, everyone, and thank you for joining us today.
No, appreciate everybody for joining. Shout out JV. He was the architect behind everything, so we gotta give the props to him, and obviously all the people that joined. Thank you guys for the time. Ben, Simon, Mike, Fast ADI. So we'll catch you guys on the next one. See you guys.
And happy Chinese New Year, everyone.
Absolutely. Before we close it out, happy Chinese New Year. So shout out everybody. Hope you guys have a safe holiday.
Yeah, shout out to JV if he's the one who organizes these. Definitely follow him too. Shout out to JV. Let's look at this Moman character here. Here he's 6+ million followers, Commonwealth hero, Points of Light, angel investor, TED Talk, Cambridge, NYU writer. So he's in London apparently, but here we have a picture of him and the guy that set up for World Liberty Financial their entry into Pakistan, okay, or Pakistan. They're here photoed with CZ. So I think that's pretty interesting that you got those three gentlemen here, and they're doing also the whole CZ thing with the 4, right? Which I'm sure this has some type of significance because CZ always puts up this 4. What significance it has, I'm not the one to tell you. I mean, I can't tell you, but I'm sure it has some, right? So very interesting. This Moment character, and again the what's his name? Bilal bin Saqib, okay, who set up the whole thing with World Liberty Financial and Pakistan. And you see here that this guy, Bilal bin Saqib, is a advisor for World Liberty Financial. So again, these are more and more connections to World Liberty Financial that keep solidifying. But I definitely want to get more into this ADI company and see how it's going with ADI chain, because it seems like these guys have some really big things going on. The whole thing they got going on with MENA, right? ADI chain is the first institutional L2 for stablecoins in real world, and MENA trusted by governments, built to bring emerging economies on chain. Yeah, they definitely seem to be trusted by governments because they got the whole M-Pesa thing, and there's definitely a connection between those guys and there's definitely a connection between these guys and Facet. Okay, so definitely something to pay attention here to. And shout out, we see our brother here, Off Kryptonian. He was in the chat here a couple seconds ago as well. Definitely give him a like and subscribe. Post some of the greatest ZBCN information out there. He's part of the Zebec Nation group with our brother ZBCN man here. So shout out to, and our brother Throbbing Lantern. Shout out to ZBCN Nation. Shout out to ZBCN man. Definitely, I'm going to be on a Nation podcast sometime. Probably, I think it's going to be this weekend. So it's going to be a pleasure to go on with those guys. ZBCN Nation. Shout out to ZBCN man. Shout out to Throbbing Lantern. Shout out to Off Kryptonian. Shout out to those guys over there. So definitely shout out to those guys. Let's go back here. Very interesting to see here what this ADI chain has in store. It's very interesting. We know that Facet has its own network, but ADI chain has ADI chain Korea, ADI chain China, like I was saying here. They're followed by Swift Blockchain and others. Miles O'Neill, good follow there. So it's interesting. I'm gonna do some more deep diving into ADI chain, see what's going on with them, because there's definitely more meat on the bone there. Okay, there's definitely more meat on the bone there. But let's get into our comments here. Shout out Silver Days, what's going on? Trini for life, what's up, bro? Yo, Rue, you got what up, my boy? Zebec gained to $1 yet? Not quite yet, but of course, we're gonna be on our way. Again, there's a lot of things going on with that. The Clarity Act that they told us was going to be passed like a year and a half ago. Like nobody could see that coming, right? And little old me, I don't control when Donald Trump decides to make certain things happen or not happen, even though they told us it would happen a long time ago. You know what I mean? We are where we are right now, right? Bitcoin's sitting at around 67K. So we just had the Chinese New Year happen. It was also an eclipse that happened. I believe it was a solar one. So we dipped down a little bit more. Like we're at 67K right now. So we shall see what continues to happen here. Zebec from Silver Days. Our brother Les Square in the house. Patreon person in the house. Let's go. New Jersey in the house. What's up, Christopher Offit? What's up, Ruel? What's up, Rue? Rue is buying that Zebec. Oh man, I don't know about that. Like and subscribe, everyone. Yeah, be sure to like and subscribe for sure. What's up, Rue? Rue, the legend, the man does it all. The research and the background work, so I don't have to do as much. Thank you so much, Rue. Really appreciate it. Zebec, keep going to 1 cent in March. What's up, Jago Gaming? Yeah, I could see it going to 1 cent in March. Remember that whole bearable bull thing? Not bearable bull. What's his name? Bearable guy 123 that me and Mooney broke down. Shout out to Moonfeather Rising. The skill gives me, because the Riddlers sometimes they be right. They're right. You know what I mean? This gives me a little bit of hope. There might be something that happens during St. Patrick's Day. You can see in the corner there. Let me see if I can blow this up and get a better picture for everyone. It keeps giving me not the picture I want. Let me try again. Okay, here we go. Gotta believe that's St. Patrick's Day, right? Gotta believe that. Maybe, maybe not, but it'll be a day to look at. Maybe XRP sets a flag that day, right? Let's see what comes out of this XRP conference in Vegas with Simon, right? He's going to give a keynote speech. Maybe there's going to be something there for us as Zebec holders. We shall see. The GOAT, love the content, my brother. Thank you so much, brother. All Kryptonian. Dave F. Jr., what's up, brother? Silver Days XRP, yes, indeed. C-Flow, ZBCN, and World Liberty Financial want to start staking so bad. Silver, let's go. Magic Hack, what's up, Root Crew? DGR8, bringing that 411 that really matters. Thank you, my good man. No problem. $1 a cent, that would be insane. What's up, Mitch? Hammer Dragon or Hammer DN 308. What's up? Hey, Root. Brother King Pound in the house. Brother Root, what's good? Doing taxes for crypto sucks. I bet it does, brother. Yes, indeed, it does. Magic Hat. Zebec is the Ferrari driving all the value in seconds. This is XRP on steroids. Yes, indeed. What's up, WC or WF Capital Management? What's going on, brother? We're bullish, or are we bullish? I love it. I love it. Anyone try shaking? Anybody start? Yeah, I stake the ZBCN right now. Now that the super app is kind of live in phases, once you stake your ZBCN, you'll be asked to pay a tiny bit of Solana to get a Solana vault. Okay. If you use the old staking site, you get immediately redirected to the new staking site in the super app. So I'll give you guys the new staking site. It'll ask you to connect the wallet. I would use Phantom Wallet, but you could use whatever wallet you want that connects to Solana. What up, Ruin Kuru? What's up, Benjamin Awakened? Patron in the house. S-Bell, a company like Zebec is not a miracle to be priced at $10. Hey, at $10, I mean, that's a little even rich for my blood, but $1, could we see that? Again, I've told you guys like the kind of calculation, at least based off of what Simon has told us. The U.S. payroll market is 11 trillion. We know Zebec's a global company. So even if it gets a tiny fraction of the 11 trillion just from the US, it should be way over this 5 cent mark, which would be $5 billion flowing through Zebec. But remembering it's global, USD1 with our World Liberty Financial, with all these companies like Facet, ADI, right? We got the companies in Germany with Deutsche Bank. We got Fed Now with NatPay Now. $11 trillion market plus. We should go way past this 5 cent mark with total value flowing through ZBCN more than 5 billion. Let's just use a crazy example, right? Something like XRP. And what's that? That's 90 billion, right? And even 90 billion is what? Let's see here 1 second. One second. So we know 90 billion is like not even 1/10 of a trillion, right? And there's an $11 trillion market just in the US, right? And that puts us at 92 cents. So conceivably a dollar is not even, it's not even too crazy if you think about that, right? Hey, got fresh crew. Hey, get fresh crew. What's up, Phantom Beat? I'm staking. Good morning, brother Ruel. What's up, Rise Above, patron in the house? It's 5 a.m. here. I'm listening in. I appreciate that. Ru, I need help. I ordered the Tangent Zebec wallet and I received a confirmation email, but haven't received the tracking number yet. I ordered it January 1st and I paid using PayPal. Any advice? Well, that's pretty tough. I would definitely call Tangent and give them your confirmation email. It should have some type of tracking number on it. It's quite a long time. January 31st to right now, right? So I would ask them why they haven't shipped you your wallet, or is there some late delay or back order? But yeah, I would definitely contact Tangent on that. What's up, Bobby Freedom? Sounds good. What's up, Rise Above? Silver Days. Marcus Gravy in the house. Let's go, patron member. Rue, question: do you know anything about the ISO April deadline for the institutions? No, ISO deadline was a while ago. So the only thing that's happening in April possibly is the Clarity Act deadline. A lot of people said that the Clarity Act might be here in April, so we shall see. Super app on the 25th. Let's freaking go. USA against the world. Annular solar eclipse today. Yes, let's go. Let's see how we shake out on that. Big shout out to Moonfeather Rising. Yeah, big shout out to Moonfeather Rising. Let's bring her stuff up here as well. Did we show Brother Off Kryptonian's channel or info? Definitely go give our brother Off Kryptonian a like and subscribe. He definitely shares some of the greatest Zebec information out here, man. So definitely give him a like and subscribe out here. Again, like I said, it's so tough to get monetized on X. So every subscribe here matters. For for me as well, guys. Definitely give me a like and subscribe on X if you haven't already. Let's see Mooney over here. Definitely give Mooneyverse a like and subscribe on here on X, but also if you go mosey on my channel, you go on the home page and you scroll down, you can see Mooney's channel right here. Definitely go give her a like and subscribe. Every like and subscribe matters as well. She does astrology, and as JP Morgan said, millionaires don't use astrology, billionaires do. That is quite right. It's definitely a tool I use to follow the market. Just like someone mentioned there about the eclipse. So shout out to Moonfeather Rising. Definitely give her a follow and subscribe over here. She's done a few different things that I love, and we've done a few different collaborations, but definitely check out her. Did I just decode this hidden meaning to this meme? Right there, she did with XRP, right? Definitely go check that out. And let's go ahead and come back over here. Hit the likes for Ruel peeps. Appreciate it. Yeah, definitely like and subscribe. Cost you on my day off. Appreciate that, Phantom Beat. Main Gator, hit that like, people. Rue fam, ZBCN will have its day. What's up? E in the house. Silver Days. Phantom Beat gives some love to Silver Days. Rue, how do we qualify for the drawing for ZBCN? Well, they haven't put out anything as of right yet, as far as I know. Let's see here. But they said stay, keep on the lookout on their X page. I'm sure they'll give us some type of notice on how we can participate. As far as I can see, they haven't said anything as of right now. But look at this. Gotta love this. XRP Las Vegas, Zebec, Ripple, Bitwise, Solana, Caleb, and Brown. Keynote speakers include Simon Babakani, CEO of Zebec Network, Brett Garlinghouse, CEO of Ripple, Matt Hogan, CIO of Bitwise, let's say Vibhu Norby, Solana, and Jake Boyle, CCO of Caleb and Brown. See you there. Amazing, amazing. Quite the thing to see here. Man, that's just nice right there. How much ZBCN would be the least one should have? Again, that's up to you. What do you expect ZBCN to get to? Like I just showed you over here. So if we expect it, okay, well, wow. So as ZBCN got to XRP's current market cap, which is 90+ billion, it would be 92 cents. XRP's all-time high would put ZBCN at $2.15. I don't know that we're gonna get there, right? But let's just say we got to 90 billion plus. Again, this would be Zebec. That would be Zebec getting. Let me try to put this into a calculator. This would be crazy. So I'll calculate it later, but this would be Zebec getting a piece of the $11 trillion payroll market that we have in the US, right? And we know that they're global. They're not only with the US, they're not only doing payroll in the US with FedNow, they're doing it in Germany, they're doing it in Europe, they're doing it in Dubai, they're doing it in Southeast Asia. So 90 billion constantly flowing through Zebec doesn't seem like a hard ask. It really, really doesn't seem like a hard ask. But if you're using this as a metric, right, then a million ZBCN would get you to, at 92 cents, a million ZBCN would get you somewhere like, that would be 920K, right? So this is if you think ZBCN can get to 92 cents within the next year. So I can't tell you how much the best amount of ZBCN would be for you. It depends on your price target and your price goals, right? Say if you thought Zebec instead, we use XRP, right? Let's see if we set a lower site, like I was showing you with Caspa, right? That only got to 5 billion in its high. And that was with like shout out to Crypto Future. He was like, Caspa got to 5 billion with no smart contracts. And he's right. So if you thought that Zebec was just gonna get to say, let's say 10 billion. That would be 10 cents. Then you would need 10 million ZBCN to get 1 million USDC. So it's all up to you. How do we calculate how to determine how much a coin can be worth? Okay, we got into that a little bit here. Let's go like, it's hard again. I use market cap of a, but what I was addressing was what Simon has told us multiple times, which is the US payroll market is 11 trillion per year, right? So at 11 trillion per year, let me try to calculate this with a calculator. Let's bring up a calculator for us. This will be interesting. This is going to be interesting, I guess. 11. Let me bring up a calculator right quick. So 11 trillion. So this would be 12 zeros. Okay, so 11 trillion. If Zebec gets 1% of that market, all right, let's just say 1%. That in itself is 110 billion. So that would put us right by itself. That puts us just 1% of that market now puts us where we were with the XRP, right? Puts us a little bit over this market cap. If we go back. So basically, if Zebec can just land 1% of the US market, that should put it over $1. That's crazy when you really think about it. That's really crazy when you think about it. So we just did the calculation there where it's like if Zebec got 1% of the 11 trillion of the US payroll market, that would mean that 110 billion would flow through ZBCN just from the US. So honestly, I mean, that says a lot right there, what we just did. Silver Days, XRP, Mooniverse. These days, like and subscribe is critical with sentiment towards watching crypto and videos down. Yeah, like and subscribe is really crucial. I thank you so much, Christopher Offutt, for emphasizing that. ZBCN is my XRP. I wasn't in the crypto space early on, and the RI of one of the best for the newer peeps like myself is to get on the ground floor. Zebec network is going to be lit this summer. Yes, Zebec is going to be around here slapping faces like.
What did the 5 fingers say to the face? What? Slap!
That's how lit Zebec is going to be around here. Around here just slapping faces. Oh, man. Zebec. I see 25 million ZBC. So I see 25 billion ZBCN without a massive total crypto market cap increase. When we get to 7 to 8 trillion market cap total, I see 50 billion in ZBCN market cap. Oh, there we go. Like, okay, so 50 billion ZBCN market cap would be half of this. So that would be about half this, right? Because half of 90 is 45. So that would still put us at what? So half of 92 would be like 41 cents, right? So it might be kind of crazy to think about ZBC and all just auto like capturing 1% of that whole market, of the whole payroll market. But if it did, if the stats are right from what Simon says, right? It's an $11 trillion market. That would put ZBCN at 111 billion market cap of money that's flowing through it. This is just from the US, mind you. So quite something in that. This has nothing to do with how Bitcoin's doing. This has nothing to do with anything else. This is only Zebec dealing with payroll. This would be 100 trillions just from 1 percentage point of the market being gained by Zebec. And we got to believe that it encompasses more because it's a global company. I had to wait nearly 3 months, about a year ago, for the normal Tangent wallet. Wow. Thank you, Helen Smith. 25 cents when the winter storm in crypto is over. Hey, I can't wait to see it. Yo from New Zealand. What's up to the moon? What's up, J Share 2.0? What up, though, family? Rick James equals Zebec network. Out here slapping faces. Darknesses. Charlie Murphy. I think it'll be I think it will breeze to 10% of that 11 trillion. Easy. Easy. Okay, so let's calculate that, shall we? So let's go back. So let's now go. So 12 zeros, right? So that's 11 trillion. Now we're saying 10% of the market. So we'll just do the calculation. We know 10% will be times 0.1. Now we're talking 1.1 trillion, right? Which would be the insanity of that. Like that would be more than that would be so crazy. 1.1 trillion flow in that coin from fees, right? Again, I guess the question now would be how much of that is flowing through ZBCN due to fees, right? If they get 10% of that market, that would be 1.1 trillion in total stablecoin revenue. But how much of those fees, I guess, would be in ZBCN and would be filling ZBCN as the coin gets the quote unquote, I guess, kickback or the fees paid in ZBCN on $11 trillion worth. I'm sorry, on $1.1 trillion worth of stablecoin. We shall see. We shall see. Get only 0.5% of U.S. payroll, and you got 46 cents per ZBCN. Get 1/4, and you got only 1% of the total payroll market. Then it's like 23.25 cents. So again, there's a lot to love about this because this now has nothing to do with Bitcoin. This only has to do with how much of the payroll market that ZBCN can capture, right? So this is completely divorced, if you will, from how the how the crypto market is doing. This only has to do with how much ZBCN is capturing of the payroll market. And with what they're doing with the advertising, you gotta believe that they're gonna capture more, right? You gotta believe that once people see others getting paid in real time, they're gonna want it too. Late spring summer pump, hold on. King Pound 1. I would be one happy lady if we did 1 trillion. Hey, I'd be a happy guy over here too. Like it'd be insanity. It'd be straight insanity over here. Oh man, I gotta get a soundbite for that. But it would be crazy insanity over here if that happens. 1.1 trillion would be $11 per ZBCN. I could see that if Raul Paul, who predicts $100 trillion total market cap in crypto in 2030 is correct. Yes. All right, guys. So let's see what happens here. I think this was a good spaces. It was good to meet the Aleo guy, to hear from another member of Facet, and to also hear from ADI. We're definitely going to get through more research in those three companies. And if you made it to the end, once the live stream is done, if you can write in the comments of the video, if you can write into the comments of the video, Aleo, okay? It'll let me know that you saw it, and it'll definitely spread the video around for others. Thank you guys so much for coming through, and I'm out. Peace.